Cheers, Dawson. Today it's me and you, and all of you guys. Really had to mute my computer as to not get this going back. And Dawson here. Oh, actually, I need to do this. Let me go like this real quick. Today it's just me and Dawson. We're without our other fellow compadres, and so a lot of the things that maybe Tanner would have done for me, I just did. I had to rearrange that screen. So, guys, really excited to hang out today. Today is an episode that I'm really excited about. I've had all of these thoughts on money and finance and investing for a long time, and particularly over the last couple weeks. As I've thought about this next episode, I want to do a solo podcast to go over a bunch of principles that have served me well in my life that I'm excited to go over with you today. They're kind of foundational beliefs that I have about money and I've seen to be true in my life and the lives of others. We went to the Madison Club yesterday with Todd Peterson and Casey Ball, which is one of the highest net worth places in the country as far as community goes, and was able to see and participate in this in a way that, like I said, this has just been on my mind. Today may be a shorter episode, but these are, again, principles that guide. This is the gospel of John Taylor as pertaining to wealth in some ways. Come back here. Forgive me now that I clicked off. Here we go. As always, massive disclaimer. I am not a finance professional, a wealth advisor. And so this is not professional advice. Talk to tax and real professionals. This is as someone who has made money and has invested. These are, again, the things that I've learned. And as someone who's been around a lot of people that have made a lot of money, I've just learned some things. And so, hope that today's episode, we're 6 episodes deep into this. Hope today's episode is super applicable and valuable. I think it will be. This episode in particular is really applicable to each and every single one of you guys because I'm in it, you're in it, we're all in it. Dealing with money, it's a part of this human experience. And so, again, I think a lot of these things will help you frame, hopefully, how you think about money and how you're thinking about where you're going to spend money and how you're going to spend money. Today's episode is called Cash is King. As such, cash on the table as some decor here. Guys, this has been on my mind. It's something that I said, and as I think about some of these principles, as I've thought about what are the core values of the Taylor family. I have 3 kids, Taft and Teddy and Kit. You start to really question and ask yourself, well, what do I want them to remember and know about what it means to be in the Taylor family? And some of those things are, if you're not nice, I don't care what you are. Or it doesn't matter what you are. If you don't have integrity, I don't care what you have. Again, these principles that hopefully I strive to live, and hopefully they will as well, to be kind and to be honest. One of the 7 principles is we grow to give. And for those of you that were here 2 nights ago with Todd, and again, as I saw him interact with people yesterday in Palm Springs, Todd was here Wednesday night, and he gave about $60,000 away, which, by the way, he said was light work. He said he's gone even crazier sometimes. He's given away a Porsche. He's given away, over $100,000. That would be completely irresponsible of him if he didn't have in a meaningful way. But it's not irresponsible for him because he has so much money. And because he has so much money, he can give it away. And so I just believe that this is a gospel principle as far as a doctrinal principle of money not gospel, doctrinal, the gospel of wealth. In order to give, you have to have. In order to have, you have to get. And so it's really important to go get. Now, again, that's not just money. We're talking about money because this is the wealth equation. That's experience. That's knowledge. in order to go give really great advice, you got to go get life experience. I think I haven't shared this on this podcast, on this wealth equation. I saw this clip from Jelly Roll and Joe Rogan, and I've just been thinking about it so much because, again, there's just things you hear. This is why I love Tony Robbins, where I'm like, man, that is just true. I've just seen that play out in my life. Jelly Roll asked Joe, he said, hey, have you heard the story of the rich man and the poor man? And he said, no. And Jelly Roll goes, well, there's this rich man who's wealthy and a family and all the things and is just living what seems like this incredible life. And this younger man comes up to him and says, hey, I'm not wealthy. You inspire me. I want to live a life like yours. How do I do that? How do I get rich and wealthy? And again, rich and wealthy isn't just in finances. Again, I've said it like Gail Miller said, wealth is what you have. Larry used to say, wealth is what you have if you lost everything. But this rich man said, he laughed and goes, 2 words, good decisions. And the guy goes, well, okay, like I want to make good decisions. How do I make good decisions? He goes, 1 word, experience. And he goes, okay, well, I want to have experience. How do I get experience? And he laughs and goes, 2 words, bad decisions. And so, again, it's just one of those things that you learn and you live and you experience life and you just learn more. And the more that you learn, the more that you understand that you don't know. And people say that all the time. That has been my experience. The older you get, the more you understand. You become more aware of how much you don't know. When you're young, you think you know everything. As you get older, you think you know less and less. And you learn and have really good experiences. And so it's just really important to go get in order to give. You have to have in order to give. And so it's really important to go get. As far as financial terms go, if that's what motivates you and you are fulfilled by getting and by giving, there's just no secret to success and you have to work really hard. But if you do and you can go make in meaningful ways financially, you can show up for people. And it's something that my wife and I have tried really hard to be conscious of and do actively, whether it's when GoFundMe's pop up on social media. The answer, I strive to be yes every time. And pop in, and even if I don't know the situation or the person, you try to show up. I, because of influences like Todd and Casey, do the money in a car thing. You go take out, whether it's 1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000, whatever the number is, in money, or it's $100, and I go give it. And then when it's gone, I go get more, and I go give give it again. And I did it this morning when I got a haircut, and we're always battling, and there's always there's wins and things that you work through and problems to be solved in business. And this week there's been incredible wins. We had an amazing day yesterday with Todd and Casey. Mason Bodie is on board. The Mira home is crushing in so many ways. There's so much good going on, and there's things to problem solve. So this week there's been a lot of problems to solve. This morning, and again, that's life. That's if you want to go do something big, the bigger the company gets, the bigger the problems and the more problems that we're going to have. And our circle of resistance is going to grow, and we're going to keep growing and giving and progressing. And that's, again, where you're the happiest is when you're growing and when you're giving. This morning, though, I got a haircut, and it's this woman, shout out Sean Goat, who cuts my hair and has for the last year and a half or so. And sometimes it's her. If she's gone, I do it to others, and then I'll tip them this way. But yeah, this morning I was like, hey, I was talking to her about a bunch of stuff. On the way, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna come back for the tip, which she knew what that meant, and I gave her $100, and she's like, well, why today? I'm like, hey, it's selfish. Today I need a little more. Today I need a little extra pick me up, and so I'm gonna do this in a selfish way, even. Which obviously she was, happy about, and that's not why I do it. But it's fun to give. And again, in order to give, you have to have. And so just this principle, again, yesterday we're at the Madison Club. We fly on Todd's $50 million plane. We're on Casey's big plane, and we go. And at every turn, Todd is giving people money if they serve us at all. And 3 different experiences. When we got there, the head pro, and Todd's in this tank top, with sweat shorts, and the head pro comes up. And again, this place is, driving up to the driving range. We drive past Justin Bieber. The Kardashians are there. I mean, it's just this like uber exclusive place. The head pro comes up and says, Todd, welcome back. So happy to have you here. I know you're only in for the day. Hey, I just wanted to tell you, thank you for being so good to our people. Our people love when you and your groups come in. And Todd engaged with them, and finally I'm like, hey, Todd, we got to go. We got a tea time. We got to rip. Tori, the assistant, this assistant pro, she comes, finds us, chats with Todd for a couple holes. Todd is engaging with her. She's going to come out and ski with his daughters. They love her. And then finally the GM comes and finds us out on the course just to say, Todd, thank you so much. Thanks for being here. And it's because Todd gives money, yes, but he gives his time. He gives his energy. He gives his focus to people. It's again, I've said it, one of his superpowers, one of his I believe his superpowers is being present and being completely focused in and on that conversation. It really inspires me. And so, again, you can give people money. You can give people your time. You can give people your energy and your empathy. And it's the good stuff in life. It's so fun and so fulfilling to show up and to give. Speaking on some principles that have helped guide and help me think about money. I studied finance at BYU, and the first thing that you study in finance at BYU is this: time value of money. And it's just this principle that $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow. And it is that way for 3 reasons. 1, there's risk. If you have $1 today, it's worth more because you might not get it tomorrow. And so if I can get $1 today versus $1 in a year, well, today I can have, if I get it, then I know I have it. So that's the first reason. 2, inflation. As we've seen over the last 6 years, 7 years, especially since COVID, dollar is literally losing its value every single day and every single year because of inflation. And so if I can get $1 sooner, then I can, it's worth more because $1, as we all know, our grandparents, movie theaters for a nickel 10 years ago, in and out for $4. Now it's $7. I still don't know how that place is so cheap. We go feed my whole family and they're like, all right, that's, $17. And I'm like, you must have missed something. Long story short, it used to be $4 because of inflation or whatever it was. And third is opportunity cost or potential upside. And so again, if I have $1 today, it means I have it. I can not lose value every single day because of inflation. And lastly, I can go invest it and put it to work. And so I can get my $1 to be worth more. Let's say I go invest and I make 10%. Well, now it's worth $1.10. It outpaced inflation and I have it then. And so as you think about money and opportunity, there's real value in getting money sooner, which is why we paid out more upfront this year and sooner than we ever have in the history of Grit, because we are trying to get you guys and gals, our sales force and everyone we work with, as much money as quick as possible, which is also why we're trying to build a multi-billion-dollar company as quick as we possibly can, because that we know that the sooner we get there, the more impact we'll have and the more impact for the more amount of people. And so just understand this principle of time value of money, which is $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow. I saw this video of one of our reps, who I love, talk about this principle, but in the opposite way. He was saying this whole investing thing is stupid, F compounding, like compounding this, compounding that, whatever. I don't actually want to do that. I just want to go live my life and experience life. And I get what he's saying, and I don't disagree with him to an extent. And here's what I mean. When we talk about investing and compounding, I'm not saying, hey, go live off nothing. Now, Corbin Church, when he talks, I am poor, he's trying to, in a hyperbolic way, accentuate the point of, hey, don't go blow money. Be smart with your money. Live like you're poor. Now, that can mean different things for different people. The way I've always said it is and I'll come back to this, is go spend your money on investments and experiences, but not in a crazy way, and invest most of your money. Now, you can go crazy on investments. You don't want to go too crazy because of cash flow, which we're going to talk about at the end of this solo cast. But go live life. Go have amazing experiences all along the way. I completely agree. Now, again, that doesn't mean you should go spend all your money on experiences. You can have great experiences and not spend all of your money in almost all scenarios. When we were at the Tony Robbins Business Mastery in August, he brought on Peter Mallouk, runs a massive, he's a billionaire, runs a massive financial firm, a wealth firm. And he remembers a time where he's got his son in college and he's got his son's buddies, and one of his son's buddies comes to him and says, "Hey, Peter, you'll be so proud of me. My friends went on this trip to Europe. It was like $3,000, but I took that money and I invested in the stock market." And Peter said, "Hey, go sell that stock today and go on the trip." And again, this is a finance guy. And he said, there are some experiences that expire. If you're in college, you have a window, and I've been obsessed with this principle lately, in this principle of windows. We all are in seasons of life, and they're beautiful seasons. And I don't want to be in the past, and I don't want to be in the future. I want to be here right now with you in this moment, this week. Tonight, I have a date with Emily, fired up. Next week, we're going to Vegas with Golden Doors. We have stuff. The following week, we're going to Finland with Boss Ball. Like, it is so good, but I'm not thinking, I'm excited for that, yes, but I strive to be here now. In the same vein, whether it's in your marriage, you don't have kids, whether you have kids, I strive not to wish that Taft was 12. I'm so excited for Taft is 12. I am excited, but I'm so stoked for him to be 4. I don't miss him being 2 or 1. It was a moment in time. It was so beautiful. And so amazing, and Kit's in that stage. She's 9 months old. But it was a stage, and that's the beauty in it. That's the beauty in life, is that everything ends and everything changes. Again, a Tony Robbins quote, everything ends and everything changes. And so there's real beauty there. For example, we just had an amazing Christmas, and my kids are at this incredible season of they're old enough, they won't watch this, to believe in Santa and for there to be real magic there. But they're they're old enough to understand Santa and the magic and gifts and presents, but young enough to still believe in Santa and the magic and all of it. And so it's just this tight window. And as soon as Taft's out of that, Teddy's probably going to be out of that. And so I know I only have a few years in this window, and that really is the beauty of it. And so again, going back to this principle of there are experiences that expire, don't go celebrate at the end. Don't wait for the crescendo for the music. Enjoy the intro, enjoy the outro, enjoy the meat and the body of it. Life is such a gift, and it's so beautiful. And that's the truth for grit. Like, we're not striving to go exit and have this big outcome. I think if we help enough people get where they want to get, it's going to be great for hopefully tens of thousands of people. And the butterfly of that effect of that is hopefully hundreds of thousands and millions of people. And I believe that that will be true, which will be awesome for so many people. But man, we want to have fun all along the way, and we want to have deep and meaningful relationships and grow and progress and suck and fail and learn and grow. And so again, investments and experiences is where I have always said to put money. And it's just more recently where we've started buying a few things, which I'll come back to. But I wanted to talk about this, the marshmallow test. All of you guys know it. We don't have to watch the video. But it's this idea of, okay, you put one marshmallow in front of a kid. They did this test at Stanford University. You guys all know it. Just as a quick refresh. One marshmallow. If you eat it, you can have it. If you wait, you'll get 10. And so, again, this principle of delayed gratification, I'm not saying live on rice and beans, but maybe don't go as big as you would. Invest as much as you can, like Todd did, so that you can live. Todd has 10,000 marshmallows now. Unlimited marshmallows. Money is completely fake for that guy, and love is so real. Shout out Brock Grieve. Money is fake, love is real. Money is not fake if you don't have it. It's extremely real. If you have lots of money, then it's just this tool, this method of power, how you can give to people. It's transportable power. You can give, you can impact, you can show up. And you're going to have problems when you're rich. This is what Todd says. You're going to have problems when you're poor. You'd rather be rich and have problems versus having different problems and maybe having bigger problems. And again, different problems. We're in the wealth equation talking about money. So we're talking a lot about money because it's the wealth equation. It's not the most important thing in life, and ultimately it won't make you happy. It is a magnifier. It makes you more of what you are. And so if you're good and kind, you can do that even bigger if you have more resources. So delayed gratification, have experiences all along the way. And if you invest, you will have incredible experiences with your family, with your spouse, and with your kids as you continue to get older. Really quick, just as a financial understanding, and shifting a little bit to business, and you guys are all running your own business. As Todd said, you're the CEO of your own business. Whether you're on the corporate team, whether you're at Mira, or whether you're a sales rep, you are the CEO of your life. Wanted you guys to understand real quick, at least hear these terms, AR versus AP, accounts receivable versus accounts payable. To put it simply, accounts receivable is when someone owes you something. Okay, you transacted a credit card, for example, you swipe the card, the business receives the money immediately, so they no longer have a receivable, they receive the cash. You create an account payable. The money doesn't go out now, it goes out in a month, so now you created an account payable for you. When you sell a pest control account in the summer, you get some of the money. So when you sell it, you earn that money. However, you create an account receivable, meaning you're going to get the money in a couple weeks, a portion of it, and then you get it on a back-end schedule. We, as a Grit, create an account payable, and we have an account receivable from Axiom or Mira, or whoever the account is selling for. And so again, from a cash flow standpoint, cash is king because you can run out of business if you run out of cash. You can declare bankruptcy. You can have a lot of accounts receivable and still not have cash. You can be wildly profitable and still not have cash. You can be wildly unprofitable and be burning money, meaning you are losing a lot of money every year. But if you still have cash, you can still be in the game. You can still play Monopoly. Amazon is the easiest example of this to understand. They lost millions and hundreds and millions and billions of dollars every single year and is worth $1 trillion because they were growing. The pest control companies that you guys know of, one that we worked with, had tens of millions of dollars, over $10 million of debt, and sold and had a great outcome. One that we worked with in the past, over hundreds of million dollars of debt, sold, had a really good outcome. You're just creating a different problem. If you want to grow faster, you're going to create a cash problem. You can get cash either from debt, borrowing money from a bank or an investor or hard money, or you can sell a portion of the business and get money from equity if you keep that money back into the bank. The opposite is called bootstrapping. If you never get outside money or outside capital, as it's called, you are bootstrapping your business. And to this point in this company, we have bootstrapped our business. All the money, we've never gotten money and left it in the business. We've been profitable and have self-funded. And now that we're growing Mira, we're going to get outside money, debt, cheap debt, from a bank to cover the cash gap for a short period of time until as we continue to grow our business, as is normal in business. And so, again, people that are ignorant will be like, oh, dude, this company, it has debt. It's like, okay, so does every successful business in the entire world. You just need to go get educated on business, which is great, which is the whole point of why we're doing the wealth equation, is to educate and to learn. And so that's accounts receivable, accounts payable. And so then in your own life, as it pertains to this job, it's really important to understand cash flow. In finance, there are 3 financial statements. There is the income statement, which we talked about on episode 1, Revenue minus expenses equals net income. That's the income statement, often called the P&L or profit and loss. Then there's the balance sheet. A equals L plus E. We've talked about this in these episodes. Hopefully you guys go back and watch and you are learning and understanding and asking ChatGPT. If you don't understand this stuff, it's just because you're not trying. We have all the resources. You got to go put in the work. As Todd said to the group yesterday about this opportunity, you're standing on a gold mine and you have the shovel. You just have to go dig. That's true for basically everything. The resources are there. The opportunity is there. Now, sometimes you're standing on what's it called? With barren ground. Sometimes you're actually just in the wrong spot. Luckily for all of you guys hearing this, you're you're not. It's a great opportunity, and we're going to keep crushing. You guys have access to financial stuff and books and episodes and ChatGPT. There's really just no excuse to be uneducated in 2025. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't continue to learn more, and I can keep learning more. But if you don't understand it, go put in the work. Go understand it. Balance sheet is A equals L plus C. It's of our assets. How are they made up? From liabilities or equities. A equals L plus E. But what I want to talk about briefly is just the statement of cash flows. Now, I'm not saying you actually have to go have a statement of cash flows for your LLC. But if I'm Jimmy, we'll say, let's get it right here. My name is Jimmy Johnson, and I am the coach for the Dallas Cowboys with Troy Aikman. Shout out to that. Netflix, it's a great episode. But let's say I'm Jimmy J. And it is Jan of 26. And I have $20,000 in the bank. Well, I should understand what I'm going to have in February. Well, I get paid $5,000 at the end of February, at the end of January, so I'm going to have $25,000. But I have $4,000 of expenses, so I'm going to have $21,000. Well, I'm going to start with $21,000. I know I spend $4,000, and I know I'm also going to pay off $3,000 of debt, pay off my car, whatever it is. So I'm only going to have $14,000, but I know I get another $5,000 from a back-end check. Now I have $19,000. Okay. I am going into March and April and May. I'm going to go out and start selling in April. Well, I didn't do fall block. I have $19,000. I'm going to spend $4,000. I'm going to go on a trip and whatever, $4,000. I'm going to have $15,000 going out into the summer. I'm good with that. Now I start with $15,000 and I start selling and I prepare for taxes, so on and so forth. Very simple example. You should all understand your monthly cash flows. Well, what then has to be true? If you don't know how much you're going to make or a rough idea, it's really hard to forecast. Well, I'm in sales. I don't know how much I'm going to make. Okay, then be conservative and come up with a forecast. The other side of it is understanding your expenses. I have no idea what I spend. Well, that's a problem. Go into ChatGPT. Tell chat, him or her, the problem. I love this side dialogue we have going on every episode. Makes me feel like I'm talking with someone. And say, hey, listen, I don't know my expenses. Where should I go? And I'm sure it'll give you 5 great examples of an app that can completely solve your problem in 2026. And so go do that. And then get the app, put in your credit card and your bank account info, and start tracking your income and your expenses so that you can understand your cash flows. Side note, have a credit card, especially if you're 18, 19, 20, and pay it off every single month. Never have credit card debt, but start to build your credit. Things like that are important. So if that makes sense with cash flow, please go do it. As for this episode, like I said, there wasn't a ton that I wanted to go over. I wanted to speak briefly about a few principles of the way that I think about money. As a reminder, we read Rich Dad, Poor Dad in December. For January, want to invite everyone to read Shoe Dog. It's one of my favorite books. Phil Knight tells the story of Nike. It's really, really good. I'm going to have Casey on hopefully next week before we go to Finland together. You never know. Schedules, they line up. My schedule's crazy. His schedule's crazy. If there are any questions before I sign off in the chat, go ahead and fire them away. If there was anything that I didn't explain clearly, Zach Kinzel's absolutely fired up, as he should be, and has absolutely crushed. I did want to say this, and I can say this in closing. I talked about investments and experiences. When I say that, it's because that's what I did. Starting in 2015, I started making money in door-to-door sales. And all we did every single time was this. The money would come in. The money would go out. Usually on the same day, because I would have things that I knew I was going to invest in and I was really excited about. Sometimes I would wait and keep it for opportunities. We did that. We had no kids. I knew I was going to make money. I trusted myself to make money. And I just invested so aggressively to the point where we never had money. And my wife would say, like, oh, man, like, you know, I know we make really good money, but we never have money. So, like, are we rich or are we just rich on paper? And it was just this principle of, hey, again, we're not living off beans. We're doing okay. And we go do the experiences that we want. And if we keep investing, we're going to have 10 and maybe not 10,000 marshmallows like Todd. But hopefully we'll be able to do what we want to do and give in meaningful ways. We have really big goals and dreams of giving to, the NICU that my daughter saved her life in. She was there for 2 months, and other things. And so, to the point where, yes, for the first 8 years of our marriage, we were cash poor always. Now we have 3 kids. We are in a little bit of different stage of life. I'm not blowing all my money. Have I bought a few things for myself and my wife? Yes. We do that. We've invested a ton of money, and our investments kick off cash, and they grow. And most of my money today is still being invested actively. And I'm shoveling things. I did 3 investments before the end of the year that I'm excited about. I have another one that I got this morning that I am doing due diligence on and excited about, and wasn't in the plan, but man, I might just have to get in. And there's 2 notes on that as in closing, and I know there was at least one question. One, don't have FOMO investing like Jeff Mendez said. There's always going to be another deal. And 2, don't have FOMO on golf trips or something else. You can say no. By saying yes to something, you're saying no to something else. There's always going to be another golf trip. There's always going to be the investment of a lifetime every week. The goal is to hit singles and doubles, live an amazing life, have deep and fulfilling relationship, and give in meaningful ways. Digital currency, I am completely ignorant on. Don't know. Haven't spent the time to know. Couldn't talk to it at all. There are people that have strong opinions. And with finance, and again, it's even Todd yesterday talking about things that in some ways I just think differently. That's okay. Everyone has diverse opinions. The principles hold true. Understand your investments. Invest with people that you trust and you like, and you can understand them and explain it. I don't understand digital currency as much. I'm not deep into crypto. And so I'm not heavy in it. 500K is my goal. Would you suggest to live at home with high taxes, but free, or would you buy your first property in another state and house hop it? As I've said, and I said in the first episode, I am a massive believer in getting into your first home. The most important thing with buying your first property is to buy it. That's out of a book. But I agree with that in some ways. We were all buying properties when everyone said the market was so high. It always is. Well, they're saying the same thing today. Is it going to go up? It has. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I don't have a crystal ball. But if you can get into a house and start house hacking it, I think it's massively valuable. Guys, I hope that was valuable today. I will send out the time and information for the next episode. Really enjoy doing this stuff, and please let us know how we can be helpful. Hopefully it's valuable, and hopefully you have an amazing weekend. And if you're watching this later, I hope you're having a great day. Thanks, guys. Talk soon.